this is the second state of the game. I'm on with a few individuals from last time and one new member. We've got some questions that we're going to go through. This time we'll give those questions to you ahead of time. But you've met Mumble. Say hi.
How y'all doing, guys?
You've also met Gizmo.
YOLO.
Welcome. And the newest member to us is another deputy. He's called Psy. Say hello, Psy.
Hi all.
So this week we gathered some questions from among the individuals here, and we're gonna begin going through those questions. We have the dupe system that's been released in their latest raid AMA with Cerelia. Then we have the second question that we're going to do is the views of Deuces Wild clan v clan, how we're going to go about it, things that we've picked up from it, that kind of thing. The third question we have is there's an event coming out on the speed dungeons. What do we think of those? Any tips or tricks for it? And this will be coming out on the first day. And what do we think that's going to have an effect on Arena going forwards? And then the last question is, obviously I'm part of a new game called Incarnate, and I'm asking them what they think of the game, whether or not they're going to join us with it. So I'll kick the first question off, and we'll begin with the latest topic, I guess, which is this Ask Me Anything dupe system. Si, as you're the newest member of this particular chat, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So, my initial thoughts really on it is I'm not sure I'm keen on which way they're going. They've said I think they've said 4 concepts, but they've listed 2 there. First being tweaking drop rates, and the second one making dupes more valuable by utilising them for strengthening champions. They've said they're more leaning towards going down that route. I think I speak for the majority of the raid player base. We'd prefer the tweaking the drop rate side of things. Of strengthening champions. I mean, we already get that through books, so I don't know. I'd be interested to see where they're going to go with that, but initially, my thoughts are that's not the right choice.
What about
Well, if
you?
they're doing strengthening champions, that's just all that's going to add extra 8 XP to your champion. Extra that having to run.
Yeah, it depends how they're going to do it, whether it'll increase cooldowns or damage, or it depends what they're going to do, I guess. But until we see that.
So I obviously feel, looking at it from a design point of view, and my design background, if strengthening champions could mean something as simple as you add a champion to it, you ascend them or you combine them, and you give yourself a greater number of stats. For example, imagine if you fused the second copy in, and it gave you an extra 200 on each of those base stats. Obviously, you'd have to fix that for speed or something. But that feels like that for me might be something that's interesting and the potential viable, as opposed to, this counts as 3 books for your champion, which I'll be honest, I would never, no one would ever use that particular system, because why would you? It's just a waste. I'd rather use the champion as a chicken at that point.
Right.
What about your thoughts, Gizmo?
Honestly, I don't like either version. Mainly because the idea of fusing a champion or, taking its copies to make it stronger, it makes it a little harder for you to get ahead. Think about it. If someone turns around and, they make it to where copies for like an arbiter, you can get your stats so much higher than normal. So at that point, a super hard to get champion with multiple copies could make it really hard in like the arena to get any distance. And, looking at the other way, if they just turn them into, just weakening the drop rates, it does help. And maybe that is the only one that I think would be good, is making it to where, like, if you pull a champion, the next, like, right after that, your chances of getting that champion again is like cut in half, but only for that specific champion. You know, maybe that would help, but
I feel like a better option would be is every time you summon a champion, it will give you a one-time only chance to re-roll, like another summon again, but you only get one chance on that. So if you get a dupe and you don't want it, press that button and see what you get. But it could
so
drop
maybe
epic to a rare, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
If you get bad RNG, for example, but at least you won't have that dupe if you didn't want it.
I guess what you could do from that standpoint is just make like a monthly, you know, like a scroll you could get or something that whenever you pull like a Lego and it's, one in it one that you already have, it gives you an option to spend, 500 gems or something for one shot to reroll it. Kind of, is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's similar. I mean, that could work. So you could almost turn it in to a shard with another with a gem cost, or what I was more thinking is having a button straight there in the summoning portal, summon again, but you only get one shot at it. I don't know what sort of time limit on that.
Well, I mean, I quite like that idea. The reroll, or an alternative, maybe. We have this new frag system, right? Why do this fragments? You can gain legendary things. Why not? I have access to all of the legendaries in the game. If I get a duplicate, I can trade. I can choose to trade it in for one of these fragment pages. So it isn't going to, maybe one duplicate adds 25 fragments or 50 fragments or a set fragment amount. That way, if let's say I get, I'm sat here with 4 pixinels. I'm never going to use 4 pixinels, but if I could trade 3 pixinels and like a dupe hack and smash lord or something, and then get let's, even if it's stay within that, if I could trade that in for a Duchess, can you imagine how much more useful that would be to players? You get some control of it without there being a straight up get like luck potential.
So it kind of reminds me of this other game that I used to play that was a mobile game called Idle Heroes, and what you could do was whenever the champions came around in the pool, you had 6 champions that you could use these extra shards that you had, because whenever you broke down champions, you got like these little puzzle pieces basically. And by putting those puzzle pieces towards them, you could eventually get your champions, but you also had to time it for rotations. So you had to wait for them to show up. Their prices change depending on the rarity of the champion that you're going for.
Definitely like the idea of breaking down champions into shards that you can be used on any of the legendary champions you want. So yeah, definitely I can see the benefits of that.
Even if you made it so it was like non-void champions, right? So you can't just go, I'm going to have Siphi, Warlord, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
Yeah.
you could, at that point, you could also do it one way, kind of like these, ancient shards versus the void shards. You could have, whenever you break down a void champion, you get its rarity, probably either epic or legendary, and then you can use those specific shards from the void champion to only get void champions, and vice versa.
Yeah, that'd work. And like for me, dupe epics are just chickens, so I don't see a problem with those right now.
That's all I use them for right now too.
Well, I like that particular view actually. Maybe we'll put a suggestion forwards and see if Polarium catch on.
I mean, high chance says they won't, but can't hurt to try.
We'll see. We live in hope. What about this clan v clan thing then?
Clan versus clan can definitely ruin a clan. I mean, I've seen other people get mad at members for not doing enough, or some members just wailing out and hurting their account, like literally feeding food that they could use for a fragment event that is going on during the clan versus clan. I mean, that's why we kind of came up with to not rule, but I guess a way to watch before we decide if we're gonna actually go hard versus the next clan or not is just wait the day, do your normal dailies and see what they're gonna do. Because if you're gonna go up against a big clan that's gonna spend a lot of money, I as a leader cannot ask all my clan members to, hey, you need to go out and spend $1,000 on this game so we can win clan versus clan. The trinkets are nice, but they're not that nice.
So, yeah, because I'm still fairly new to the game, and being in a quite a strong clan, it was difficult for me to get the same amount of points as everyone. But I don't really know where I'm going with this one.
Well,
Can you come back to me?
Leading off of that, do you feel like you have to get points in our clan because you're in the
I-
same clan as me?
So, two parts of that. I don't feel like I'm pressured by anyone to get those points, but the type of person I am, I want to pull my weight. So if everyone else is hitting 100k points plus, I want to be hitting 100k points plus as well. So I put the pressure on myself, which does make the clan stronger, but I can see it causing some people to burn out because they've got to put so much effort in at that time. And with a lower end account or an early days account, it's quite difficult to hit those sort of scores without playing a lot of hours.
Fair enough. What about you, Gizmo, before I put my thoughts down?
Honestly, CVC or clan versus clan just seems too much like it pushes you to do too much, honestly. I feel like it's a rush. It makes you, like Mumble was saying, you burn your resources, you're burning through all your, things that you could be working on later. And the only problem I have with CVC is it's always timed around either the end of an event so that, you've already burnt your resources trying to get the fusion, like Brogny, for instance, or, one's coming up and they'll push you to, spend all your resources. Neither clan is going to be able to enjoy trying to grind out these challenges when they're pretty much pinching their income in the game. You're burning through your silver, you're burning through probably gems and everything else, especially on that last day. Even if you can win, if both clans are pushing for that last little, couple points to get them the victory, you're going to end up toasting a lot of accounts just on resources that could be saved for something that I feel is more useful than a couple rings.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, to that point, you do want to push you do want to push and see if you can beat the other clan. It is fun. It is a new aspect of the game, but you've got to understand what kind of clan you're going up against and to do that. If you're going up against way higher clan that's way more than you already know it, then don't burn the resources. You're pretty evenly matched the second day and burn resources, but try. It's fun. It gives you something to do. Don't destroy without doing it.
And so for
That's
me,
fair.
when you say burn resources, like I look at legendary books, right, or epic books. I could book this champion up now, and if I know there's a clan v clan coming in 2 or 3 days, then I will suggest, like, you can wait 2 or 3 days, put down your epic books on a Seal of the Drakes, whatever it might be. She's my favorite champion at the moment, and I'll gain 20,000 points. Sire, that's one thing I say to you. Like, don't worry about 100k points. Don't worry about 20k points. If you can do your dailies and just do your dailies, you'll get 20k anyway. But I found, you've seen me, sometimes I have like 170,000, and so does Orion. We do things like I've got 700 pieces in my forge because I farm faction wars every single day. I'm not going to do anything to that, but by taking those out, gear cleansing them or leveling them up to 4, I got like 100,000 points without actually wrecking my account at all. Just by doing the forge, you gain the forge, you can gain anywhere between 4 to 1,000 points from just forging an item at 6-star. And then you then again get the silver from selling that. You then go into the items. Well, this is a legendary 6-star piece with speed. Do I roll it to 4, get some points? got it to 12, get some points, whatever it might be. But I don't have the problem. I haven't wasted any resources on my account doing that. So that's some feedback I'd like to give. I'd also say, to me, if you're doing your dailies, and I feel I speak for the leadership of the clan in this, you've done enough. Okay, that shows us that you're active. That shows us that you're at least playing the game. I don't want someone to come into the clan and think, oh, I have to hit 1,000 points. And like, to give feedback, we had a member in our clan, in the top clan, who I literally said to him, look, if you want to go and be in a big clan where you're going to spend, this is not the clan for you. And he moved on. We're a family first clan. We build up. We won't forget you. Again, that's my motto for the clan. So I just take it from there, and we try and feed that mentality down through the clan levels.
Yeah, definitely want to keep that mentality. I mean, that's what the clan was based on. I started it. I didn't like all. You have to be stars. You have to spend much money. And so the clan versus clans just brought that out of our clans. If we do the dailies and we stick to our gameplay, we do have a gameplay posted on Discord for everybody, for all clans. That you don't have to kill yourself or your just to participate in possible versus clan.
Yeah.
A number of our lower clans have one, their clan versus clan. There's not a bunch of big spenders.
Any
Yeah,
last
that's
minute
fair.
thoughts on Gizmo?
I think the three biggest areas, you've already covered one, from that I've picked up on so far, the Clan v Clan, to gain points, is saving up your arena medals.
Yeah.
Waiting for Clan v Clan to actually buy you upgrades in the Great Hall. Your books, which we've already mentioned, booking champions. And the other thing was the forge, because it's quite easy to rack up in 2 weeks a lot of forge items. To do, like you say, make all them forge items and then do a gear cleanse. So that's the three areas that I've picked up on since we started doing them that you can really do well with.
I guess obtaining points isn't like the super hard part. It's just the making sure you have the resources for it. Because like I said, just if it's following an event, it is a bit more difficult. That's all I've noticed.
Yeah, that's true. Well, as I say, if you've got any questions on Clan v Clan, do reach out to leadership of your deputies if you're in Deuces World, and leave comments in below if you have anything that your particular clan or channel does. We then lead on to this dragon tournament. Double time speed. It starts as of 12 hours from when we're having this conversation. So, Gizmo, as you've not started one, why don't you lead us off on your thoughts on this?
Boy. Well, first off, for speed, I do know that it's going to be a lot nicer for the lower down players who are having troubles getting their champions to certain speed caps. So, for instance, all those Orgarabs and stuff in between like bronze and silver. I know it's going to help out a lot there, but it's also going to massively help out like the people that whale out. But probably not as much though, because you're still running the same percentages on them, so your same substats and stats that are going to be on them. And with it only being a ×2, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. It'll help like a little bit because you're looking at getting, what, 1 out of every 8 pieces of gear could be speed now. But honestly, I think it's probably going to help more than it's going to hinder anything in arena or anything like that. I don't think it's going to have too much of an impact.
So I think it's going to be more about composition now than speed. I mean, I know everybody's going to put all the speed on their speed lead, their speed boost, stuff like that. But I think it's going to be more about the rest of your as well, not just who's the fastest. That's always going to be the case. Never gonna not happen in arena. Going to be who's the fastest goes first, and that's not going to change. But you're going to see the compositions change up quite a bit with the speed gear that drops this 2.
I still don't think that it's like a super large jump. It's not like every other piece of gear you're gonna get is speed set though. Because like with the stun set, what I did notice is most people were getting a couple more pieces, but like out of 30 runs, I think people were still getting roughly around the same amount that they were getting before. But it will, like I said, it will help. And the speed, I can see it going up a little bit. Like myself included, I'm hoping to take advantage of it and get some more speed on my Arbiter because she's a bit slow at the moment.
A lot of it's going to depend on the rolls that you get. That's what a lot of people are looking for. Getting the speed sets. Now you're buying the triple quad roll instead of just a single double.
So my concern with it, as a low spender in this game, and I'm thinking more for the free-to-play players, they're going to do their normal energy over the 2 times period on the speed set, which means they might get 1, maybe 2 items if they're lucky that's going to roll good, if they're really lucky, that is. But the people that are spending a lot more money on the game, the whales, etc., they're going to get, obviously their chances of getting speed gear are going to be higher, same as everyone else's, but they're going to get more items that are going to roll good. I just don't, for the lower end gold arena tiers that haven't benefited from the recent update, are going to really struggle. The people that spend more money on the game are going to you just won't be able to beat them in speed because of it. That's my concern. I mean, it may not go that way. It's still down to RNG whether a good speed item rolls good anyway. But I've got a feeling it's going to benefit the people that spend a bit more, and going to make gold a lot harder in arena. But it's supposed to be competitive anyway. But I think a lot of us will be knocked down into silver.
Obviously, I'm not sure if that may happen. I just look at it on a pure mathematical scale. If you look at the people, let's say you have your Arbiter at 230 speed, right? That probably means you have 6 or 7 epic pieces, including the banner, that are at full, triple, or double rolls for these speed already. And yeah, there's a good chance that people are only going to get, those people are looking for quad rolls, which they may never get. You can spend your entire life on the account going for quad rolls and not get one. I vouch for that personally. But I feel those people who are mid silver, low gold, and I'm not talking like gold 4, I'm talking gold 1, you know, I think they are going to get a more, they'll be able to get more double rolls and more single rolls. Whether or not it's going to be a bonus effect to the arena and it's going to cause problems for people going up, we're not going to be able to say. Like, we may not even feel the difference, but it could well do. In terms of what the event is doing, I actually really like the stun set one. You know, I didn't buy loads of energy. I'm not mega well. I do occasionally look, you know, man at 10x, I'll go crazy, but I'm not going to be someone who's forcing everything in all of the time. And I found that helped me, that focused me, and it will help focus people towards, you know, we want to be farming for these particular sets. I hope that it doesn't make arena negative, but I can't say for sure it won't. I do, as I say, I do like the idea of this event in general, though. Could you imagine if it's like lifesteal?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely all for it when it helps for the PvE content. It just, I'm not saying it's going to be negative. Like, I don't want to be completely negative. I'm just concerned of the impact on the PvP side of the game, which is already very competitive and quite difficult. But for PvE sets like the stun set, lifesteal, that sort of thing, amazing. I think it's a decent event for the game.
But we are just focusing on arena. I mean, it's not like they're doing double savage, which is pretty much strictly for arena.
True.
They're
Yeah.
doing double speed. That's going to help you out with your faster farming times, whether it be campaign, dungeons. We are focusing a lot on arena, but it is going to help out on all your champs everywhere. Get them faster.
Yeah, definitely. I think
Potentially, it could help out depending on the again.
All right. So, what about where you're gonna farm in this event then?
so. Me personally, I'm thinking about doing 25, just to give me. I need to get triples and hopefully quad rolls of speed. So the best chance of getting legendary is going to be 25 for me. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at.
Makes sense.
I feel the same way. I'm probably gonna run 25 just for the extra little boost. I mean, whether it helps or not, I don't know. Whether it's gonna give me the rolls I want or even the stats that I want on it, but get the extra epic or Lego boost plus the 2% speed drop. It's just, I think it's worth the extra 2 energy per run for me, for my account.
What are you, Gizmo?
Yeah, that's fair. I'm like torn between it, honestly, though, because you can run Dragon 25, but if it takes you, 4 minutes to clear it, but it takes you a minute to run Dragon 20, depending on your time and, how much stamina you have available, if you're running, not a lot of stamina, I would honestly recommend doing 20 if you can, clear faster and more efficiently. That could be the better choice for you, but I do feel like 25, since it does have a little bit of higher chance of epic gear and legendary gear, it's just the best one to go for.
So myself, I'm a bit. I haven't like set my mind on it. I don't think I'm gonna do 20, but my 24 time is like 1 minute and 10 seconds, and my 25 time is like 4.5 minutes. So I'm planning on. I've got nearly 1,000 gems. I'm gonna burn all my gems. I'm in desperate need of gear generally on my account at this moment in time anyway because of faction wars. So I don't know if I want to farm just 24. I definitely think if you've got loads of energy or you're not in the free to play, running the fastest time is the one that makes sense. So in the background, the rest of you will be seeing I've been playing this new game called Incarnate. It's in alpha right now, and I'm hoping to bring it into the rest of the clan. So I thought I'd just ask those of you who are with me now, A, have you seen it? What do you think? And potentially a yay or nay, and we'll see what happens. So let's start with you, Gizmo.
Well, I saw your previous video on it, and to just straight up, I do honestly want to try it. It looks pretty cool, and the mechanics are at least simple to understand too. So, the only thing is it like it does have like tutorials and stuff that'll help like explain everything to the player, yes?
I mean, at this moment in time, it's in alpha, so no. Although
Okay.
there is a link to an individual, a fellow friend of mine called Blue Bear, and I can put his link in the description, who has gone piece by piece on every single part, how the game works, how to put the abilities together. And then there's something else called Eternals, which you've not seen, which is essentially like your equipment. So your pieces, you'll build a champion. Your Eternals are your equipment, and then your like gems are foci. But yeah, at this moment in time, it's alpha, so there should be tutorials, and it's definitely something I can feed back to the team. But at this moment in time, the answer is not yet. Maybe in time.
Enough.
I definitely know that we will be a part of it. Me and the wife both run Deuces Wild, so we're going to start a clan over there. Hopefully with the same name if we can get it. I've been watching your videos on it, and you screen shared it with me and stuff, so I've got to see a lot of it. And It's like this game, but chess-based strategy. I don't know. It just seems real appealing to me. And not to mention the champs or characters or incarnates, as you call them, look really.
Well,
So yes, I'll definitely be playing it.
in that regard, I can tell you I have reserved the Deuces Wild name, at least Deuces Wild 1, for the game in the clan. So we have that going.
Well, that's all we need then. There.
What about you, Si?
So I'm kind of undecided, but at the same time, I'll follow the clan. I'll give it a go because we're giving it a go as a family. So definitely in that sense, I like from watching the video. I've watched a few of Blue Bear's videos, and I've seen you play it before. I like the mechanics. I like the way the game is going in that sense. The only downside for me is it's a silly downside really, because it's only an alpha. It's going to change, but it's the graphics side of things. But at the moment, it looks really awful on the graphics side. But that's also a good thing because it means they're spending a lot more time doing the important stuff, like the mechanics, how like the champions work, synergies, that sort of thing. So that's a good thing. I'm going to reserve judgment on it until full release, I think, and then decide whether I like the game. Because I am a bit of a graphics snob. I do like good graphics, and at the moment it doesn't have that. But yeah, like I say, definitely going to give it a go because it'd be fun to do it with you guys, and then we'll just see how that turns out.
Sounds good. And from all of us, thank you for joining us for the second edition of the State of the Game. Hopefully we'll be back in just over 2 weeks, as this one's going to come out a little bit earlier to align with the event. But have a good time. Take care from Animals Labs.
See you later, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a like.
Later.
Thanks all.